Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another NIKKE reaction. Yes, I'm listening to both versions of the song this time. I was actually aware this time that there would be two. Last time, I just done goofed. I don't know how I missed it. I actually saw it the second time when I was like double checking stuff before I uploaded, and I was like, shit, I've already edited everything. I can't just throw this back in there. I recorded it early that day. There was just no way I could go back and try to fix that issue. So I just went with it and made that little announcement insert I did. But this time, we won't have that problem. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, another Powerless song. Okay. This might be another one where I'll like the original more than the remix. I'm gonna assume it's probably gonna be a NieN remix as well, again. But I'm already loving everything about this song. God! That is a cannon of a snare. Woo. It's like a little, like a double, like a slight delay on the snare sometimes. Like they overlapped it a bit. And the uplifting, like, energy on the strings here. Such an addictive, like, rhythm section in here, too, with the guitar. It's so good. that snare sample. Wait. They haven't done it again. I want to hear it again. That one. Fuck, that's heavy. That's such a good sample. And you know they did that on purpose. Otherwise, they wouldn't have just used it like twice per chorus. Like there's... It's not like that was, oh, I put in the wrong sample. It's consistent enough. There it is again. God, it's so fucking good. Oh, fuck. I just love this progression. I love where he's like putting in dissonance too. Because it's like right here. Like right there. That bend up. God. The way I would play this on the guitar if I could play well. Okay, NieN. Kicking it up a notch. I gotta hear what he's gonna turn it into. So far, it's a little bit faster, a little bit more synth going on, just a little bit. Okay. I love that he's keeping that snare pattern in there. Not specifically that sample, but the off time pattern in there. Solo time. Woo! Get it up there. NieN is always a 10 with solos. Woo. Whoa. God, I'm just jamming now. I've kind of heard everything, I think. It's a really nice evolution. This time around, it's a lot harder for me to pick. They're a lot closer to even in my ear when it comes to, like, the aspects I love about both. I love that he's keeping that in there. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, gotta keep in those triplets. God. I mean, it just has NieN's usual punch to it. But Powerless, dude, gave him an amazing starting point. I still can't pick which one I like more. It's like picking your favorite child. I don't know if I can do it. The subtlety of this one with the solo in there, I love how it's pulled back more. And it's not like the lead in this section like the other solo was. God. It's given me plenty of time to think about it. I don't know which one I like more. I really don't. I feel like a broken record at this point. And And this is also a problem with like having such long uploads. I love hearing them, but I get my thoughts together and then I'm sitting here for another 3 minutes waiting for it to be done. Not that I'm struggling with that reality. We gotta be getting close, right? I don't even know how long I've been recording at this point. Oh, over 10 minutes. We gotta be getting there. There it is. Right as I ask. See, the second it starts to feel like it might be going a little too long, you realize it's not. And you've been there the perfect amount of time. It's just that they're both stitched together, so it makes it that long that it's like, okay, now I've got these two songs back to back, and now I'm gonna have to listen to them again to like really get my actual thoughts ironed out so I can explain what I do like about both of these and why it's hard to pick which one I prefer. I've come to the conclusion that they're both fucking awesome, and I can't pick which one I like more. Okay, so with that out of the way, why do I like the first one so much? I love the chug of the first one. I think the pattern is great. That triple like dud 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 dud. It's so fucking tasty. The metalhead in me screams for that sort of patterning, and it's just so much heavier. I think the second one is good for its own reasons, but because the first one is heavy and it just has that chug to it, it feels like you're getting punched in the face or doing the punching in the face, and it just has that extra spice to it that makes it feel a little bit more angry, where the second one evolves more of the emotional pressure that the song has and takes it from anger to more of like an uplifting optimism. As far as the music theory stuff goes, I'm probably somewhere off in some of this because I am utilizing a piano and not a guitar, and there is going to be differences between the two, but the core of it, I believe, is B flat major. This isn't necessarily an uncommon key in metal, especially because it allows for a little bit more of that flex in things like the chromatic scalings that they love to use for solos especially, and we all know what NieN threw into the second one, so that's almost guaranteed to be a part of it. But I specifically love the chord progression that was picked here. So we have like a B flat major, and then I believe an A flat, a G flat, and an E flat minor. And it just like right there, that tension at the end with that E flat minor. I don't believe it's an E flat. I think it does go to E flat minor, because if it went just down to E flat, it would be, which has a little bit more of that like finality in the progression. It feels like it resolves more, and I don't believe that necessarily happens here. I also don't know if it works directly in the key that they're utilizing. I'm not sure if it's a part of B flat minor, but I think that this one makes more sense just to end with that, because it lets you have that hanging note to be able to wrap back to whatever you want, and that tension is super important, especially in metal. So that's the sort of quality that I look for when I'm tearing these songs apart and trying to dissect exactly what's going on in the progressions. And like I said, it probably sounds different because I'm using a piano and not pulling out a guitar to do that. I'm not good enough at the guitar to pull out a guitar and start utilizing it in regular videos. I just figured out how to do open chords, and I don't practice very often, so it's still very new to me compared to other things. This is a little bit easier for me to wrap my head around and explain why these things work out in concept, so that's why I utilize those sorts of things instead of utilizing a guitar. Now, down into the core of why I like this progression, aside from that whole leaving it on the edge, this does just pull you straight down. It doesn't really lie to you. It doesn't need to go anywhere else. It doesn't bring you down to bring you back up. This song doesn't need that. It doesn't want that. Nobody cares, especially Powerless, because that's the point of this song. It drags you with that energy. It keeps it heavy, and it does that unapologetically in the most metal fucking way possible. And I just love that just Powerless is like, you know what I'm gonna do? Fuck the whole emotional uplift. We're gonna make metal today. And they just did that. Like I said, when NieN comes back in later and changes it into that, that's great. But also, it's not exactly what Powerless's goal was with the core of this song. And again, that like chug of the triplets, dun, 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 it's just so fucking metal down to its core. That's what this is. There is a little bit of synth in there, much like there was for the other song, but at the same time, that's pretty common these days, especially modern metal. It's just a factor that's in them. I don't have any problem with there being synth in there, but the amount that's in there plays a little bit of a factor in how metal it is versus how poppy it can become. And this one definitely sticks more in that metal rut than it does get lost in the sauce of having too much electronic stuff to the point of becoming something it's not, you know? So I love the vibe of this one. And I also like that when NieN came in, he didn't try to add a bunch of that. There was, I think, a little bit more. It might have just been the way it was mixed or just straight up how he was arranging the song that made it a little bit more clear for some of the electronic stuff. But again, it's not too much or anything. And I like the aspects that he added, especially because he does crank up the speed a little bit. It almost double timed it. And it's like, okay, here we are. We now have more energy. It makes sense to include things like the electronic stuff in there to kind of keep the pace going, almost like you would with Eurodance or something. It's just something you need to have a little bit more electronic sound in to keep that energy rolling. Now, more on what I mentioned earlier when I said that NieN changed it a little bit, and he kind of did, at least from what I could tell. There was a little bit of a difference here, and that is specifically like one chord change that adds to it. It doesn't take anything away. It's largely the same general progression, but it's the patterning of where those notes land and when these changes happen. For example, I believe that, of course, the B flat minor is there. That's the core of what this song is, but I also believe that there is a C flat in here, which would be a B. So that kind of adds a little bit more tension between those two chords, and it changes the identity of the song as it goes, but that's not the one that changes the vibe of the song. For me, at least, that change happens when you get something like this B flat minor going to the E flat, going to the G flat, and somewhere between here, he was like, you know what we need? F minor. And that adds that emotional pressure that I was talking about at the very beginning of this segment. That's just what happens. You get something that's building up a little bit, and then you need to make it a little bit more tense as you build up into something like that G flat. There might even be, I think, a D flat in here, which makes it sound more proud. It has a much brighter sound compared to the E flats. So it's like, what do you do with that? This E flat minor and this D flat are not the same tone at all. They just have that crunch against them, similar to this B flat minor and the C flat, which would be also a B. So it's just like, how? This is what makes this song sound so cool and sound uplifting compared to the first one. Powerless set that down. He's like, this is fucking metal. We don't need any of that bright shit. We're here to fucking rock, and that's awesome. And then NieN is like, hold on, my guy. I think we need to make people feel a little something. Now hear me out. And that's just the amazing quality that these people add to these songs when they do these remix variations. Sometimes it is just as simple as making the song a little bit quicker and adding a little bit more spice to it, a little more zest in the electronic stuff. But for these sorts of remixes, this emotional change is why I love what they do to these songs. They change the intent of the music. It's no longer just this heavy, badass, let's fuck some shit up and take some names sort of song. It's now this, oh, here we are at the end of this road. We're proud of who we are. It's the end of a journey now. It's no longer just the anger. It's no longer Doom Guy being mad at a bunch of demons and shooting them down, beating the shit out of him, doing what he does. He has now found his money, basically. You know, he's now happy again for the first time since who knows where. Not that the bunny would ever be alive, spoilers for Doom if you've never played it, but here, that's the point, right? First you have Doom Guy who's angry, and all of a sudden he meets Isabelle from Animal Crossing, and now they're best friends. There you go. Let the shippers unite. All is happy. It's not 100% happy, but it's happier. And that's what matters. And that sort of emotional growth is what I love when these remixes happen, when these composers get together and do these sorts of things. I've heard plenty with Cosmo and NieN, and how NieN will make something amazing and Cosmo will take that a little extra step further. And sometimes, like I said, it is just adding some more electronic, making it a little bit faster, adding some tension, but otherwise keeping the same tone. But for this one, Powerless and NieN, fucking power couple, making this awesome track have such a beefy, heavy fucking start, and then ending it with a little bit more of an uplift that keeps you present emotionally instead of just going down the Doom Guy route of shooting everything because you're mad about it. But I think I've yapped about this song plenty, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to other stuff from NIKKE, by all means, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!